there Gemini, I'm Ellie Rose with PsychicFuture.com and this is your horoscope from the 24th to 30th of September. So we have now said goodbye to Virgo season. We just had the autumn equinox. Hopefully you did something nice and harvesty. If you didn't, you've still got a chance to do something. There's still quite this strong energy of crossing over, and if you need some extra help with things to do, I've got a blog post on PsychicFuture.com, so you can check that out if you need some like harvesty rituals and celebrations that you want to do. And yeah, hopefully you get to do something like that. So this week we are now moving into Libra season, so the sun is in Libra, and traditionally people see Libra as a very personable kind of sign. They like to hang out with people, they like to meet new people, they tend to dress very well, they're interested in art and beauty and exterior things, and this is because Libra is ruled by Venus, which you may already know. But there is a little bit more depth to this than most kind of commercial astrology like picks up on, and it has all to do with this changing of the seasons like we spoke about last week. So we've just had the autumn equinox, and this is the time of year when the scales are in perfect balance, and this is like the days and the nights of exactly equal length. That's what the equinox is. So this is reflected in the sign of the scales, which is Libra's symbol. And what it essentially is it's kind of like a gateway to a different time of the year. So if you're in the Northern Hemisphere, like I am, and where like classical astrology would have been based, then this is going from the light half of the year, so like summer when it's very sunny and the days are long, into the darker half of the year, so winter, the days are shorter, and you know, we tend to traditionally spend more time indoors because there's not a lot of sunlight, and you know, we get more sleep. We have this kind of almost like hibernation kind of vibe, and we tend to go within. So it's like finding our inner guidance, you know, because there's not much else to do except like sleep, think, you know, and be kind of creative in an inwards way. So this actually is very telling of what Libra is really about. And this like scales of like balance is all about balancing ourselves and the outer, so the inner and the outer. So with Libra, like all of the things that we discussed before, like the art and the beauty and the relationships and the you know, meeting people and being confident and chatty, this is all external stuff, right? But it doesn't really give much info to like the interior stuff, and that's because what this time of year is doing is it's trying to encourage us to use the outer as a reflection of our inner. So we're getting real metaphysical here, but if you think about a relationship, we tend to go for people like romantically that have qualities that we would quite like in ourselves. So perhaps you might meet someone and you think, wow, they are so clever and I love the way they talk about things and their ideas, and you know, they're very confident in what they say and people tend to hang on their every word, and I think that's amazing. If you do tend to like people like that, then perhaps that's because you're not letting yourself fully embody that. And actually, not to say that you shouldn't go for that person, but what you should be doing is trying to build that within yourself, as well as, you know, appreciating it in other people. And the famous psychologist Carl Jung, you might have heard of him, he talked about this, he called it projection. So a lot of the time we say, oh, you're projecting on me, in a bad way, and it can be a bad thing. So sometimes, you know, if people are a little bit like frivolous, or like you know, you think people are shallow, or this kind of thing, or gossipy, and you think, I don't like that. Is that perhaps maybe because you're not letting yourself have a little bit of that sometimes? You know, like things like this it's often because we're repressing it within ourselves, but it can be for good things as well. So like I said earlier about people that are confident and they speak their mind and they speak their truth, and everybody else seems to listen to them. If that is something that you think, wow, I'd love to be like that, then this kind of season, Libra season, is kind of encouraging you to try and actually be that, and to look at the external and look at the things that you like externally and trying to recreate them within yourself, because this kind of half and half, this balance of the scales, is taking us into the darker half of the year, which next month is Scorpio season. So it's like all of that is all about going within, and this is basically, it's kind of like trying to encourage us little by little to go within and to have this like inner experience, because in summer it's all about the external. It's very extroverted. We go out, we have barbecues, we meet up with friends, we go out on day trips, and we do things that are all about the external world. Whereas the darker half of the year is all about the internal, and it's like, what is going on within you? What inner processes are you having? What are you learning about yourself? So this Libra season, this is the balance. This is the crossover point. It's like the gateway. You're being led from one into the other. So yeah, a really good way to do this, in particularly for you, Gemini, is to look at the connections that you have with people and to kind of just like take stock and be like, okay, what do I like about that person? And you know, can I see that in myself? Like, you know, am I confident? Am I chatty? Am I witty? And to maybe even make a little list, write things down and say, yes, I am witty, and you know, maybe I'm not so confident, maybe that's something that I need to work on. And perhaps even do that with the negative things as well. Like, you know, if you see someone that you think, oh, you know, they're unorganised, is that because perhaps you are a little bit too rigidly organised in your own life? And perhaps you need to just let yourself have some organised disorganisation in your own life, and just to experience that. Because it's all about becoming whole and experiencing everything that you are as a person. So yeah, ask yourself some questions this week, especially since it's first week of Libra season, so the energy is really strong right now, and it's really encouraging you to use all of this external stuff to see what is going on inside of you, and to then reflect on that, and you know, try and become more whole as a person, and to accept yourself more as a person. So I've got some new tarot cards here, little miniature ones. And yeah, I'm going to pull you one for the week. So let's have a card for Gemini for this week. Oh, that's too many. Let's have this one. The Six of Cups. I don't know if you can see that, it's very small. But the Six of Cups is like the nostalgia card. So it's all about looking at the past and thinking about good memories and good times, perhaps in your childhood. Is there any stuff in that you perhaps need to reflect on right now? Is anything even holding you back as well? Like, this is a very positive card, it's very lovely. It's about like where we've come from and what has made us who we are today, that we can look back and think, oh, that was lovely. But it can also be a little bit like being stuck in the past. So if you're constantly looking back and thinking, oh, I wish that I still had that, or I wish that that was still, you know, in my life, like that, this is encouraging us to accept the fact that the past, it always stays with us, but to focus on the present as well. Like, what have you got going on right now? What is lovely about your life in the present? And, you know, what can you look forward to in the future? So keep that in mind. And yeah, let me know if that resonates with anybody, if you're having some like, you know, past kind of issues that are driving you this week. Just try and think about where you are in the present moment, and even like ask yourself those questions as well, like we discussed before. Like, in the moment, just be like, hey, you know, what am I reflecting out right now? What am I internalizing? What about the world around me am I kind of embodying in myself? So yeah, have a lovely week, and I hope to see you next time. Much love.